Previously on Aquarium Thoughts.
Today I'm going to talk about my do-it-yourself Autodoser that I put together. And of course, if you look out there, a lot of dosing systems out there are quite expensive, especially for my taste. It's actually working in putting fertilizer into my aquarium, and air pushing into the bottle, pushes down on the liquid, it goes up and it goes to where you need it to go.
Hello, so I got another package today. This time it's from Amazon, and if you look very closely, I did get it delivered to an Amazon locker, which is one place I do recommend for you guys to get delivered to if you have a problem with package thieves. I never had a problem with that, but this time I did decide to send it to an Amazon locker. That's a little pro tip for you right there. Anyways, this right here is a new package for my aquarium, which is going into my main aquarium. Let's go and open this up and show you what it is. So open the package up. This is not a box this time, so it's not really technically an unboxing, but it's still probably an unboxing. So basically that is the package. I don't need that. That's just the envelope, and get out of here. So basically this is something I got for my aquarium to replace something that's on there. It's something that I did it myself. It's a do-yourself project that I did. However, one issue was when I went to the new stand, things kind of didn't work as planned as it did before. So the aquarium is a little bit higher this time as opposed to a little bit lower. When it was lower, it worked perfectly, not a problem. This time I ran into some issues. So instead of doing a do-yourself project, I'm going to do what a lot of people do, is buy a device meant to do that purpose. That way I don't have to build it myself. Now, of course, you can easily do it yourself on this. I decided not to do it because I don't have the necessary skills to do the do-it-yourself options on this, mainly because I don't want to risk having issues with electricity. I'm just not familiar with that kind of sense. So I decided I'm just going to buy myself a little device. So this is a Autodosing pump. This says it's from Jecod, although this is just basically a repackaged Jebao. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and open this up for you and show you what you get inside. With the thing, you got the owner's little user manual right here, which explains what it is. Jecod Dosing Pump DP-2 User's Manual. Jecod DP-2 dosing pump is an automatic dosing pump designed to enable the addition of liquids to an aquarium at user-defined times and volumes. Before operation, please read this very carefully. This one is a little more advanced, so I am going to have to read this before I set it up, but I'm not going to do it now at this moment. I'm going to read it, and then I'm probably going to film me setting it up. But this right here, make sure you read this one. There is some calibration that you do need to do on this device. So if you buy this item or something similar, make sure you read your user manual on that, unless you already have done it before. So basically that's that. Because the first thing it's probably going to tell you is, other than tell you what it is basically a flow rate calibration, which is one thing you need to do on this device. So I'm going to save that off to the side and hold on to that. So basically what you have here is you do have a little box, and that is going to be the AC adapter, which is the lovely AC adapter right there. Good, it's US. This right here is a spare pump. Just in case one of these doesn't work or breaks, you have a spare pump for the device, which is this little thing right here. As you can see, you have two pumps. That's for my micros and macros. You have the little screen and the programming buttons, which I'm going to have to read the user's manual on that to see how this thing works. So there's that. Looking on the back, it's very interesting because I never expected to see this, but what you have is you have the plug that plugs in where you plug the AC adapter in, and it has what looks like a telephone jack. It's too small via the Ethernet, so I'm assuming that's a telephone jack. I don't know why this device would have it. I guess that might be something that I'm going to have to read about in the user's manual. I do not know why this has that on there. So basically how this works is basically it uses Peristalic Pumps. Basically all it is, it's a tube that runs through a circle, and on the inside of that circle you do have things that kind of rotate to push the liquid through. And that's basically how this works. Google Peristalic Pump sometimes and it'll explain how it works. But that's basically the principle on this, as opposed to my do-it-yourself pump that I made. That worked on a different principle. That worked on the principle of having a bottle, pushing air in, which in turn fills up the space, which pushes the liquid out and up. I'm going to go ahead and read the user's manual and then eventually set this up, and that's going to be very shortly. So let's go ahead and set this up. So right here I have it set up so I could calibrate the pumps. I already calibrated pump number 1 right here. Now I'm going to basically do pump number 2. Now I would show you pump number 1 as well, but I wanted to actually make sure I know what I was doing before I actually put this on camera for you. But anyways, following the instructions, first thing you have to do is basically set the time. So you can hit this little inner arrow, get to turn on the little thing right here. Where right here it says date and the time. Basically, set the time. You're gonna hit the down arrow. Actually, you're gonna hit the enter button. That brings you to where it says set date and time, or it says set program. So there's a little arrow pointing to which option this is. So you can move the arrows and move to what you need to change. If you wanted to set date, you have the little caret right there, and then to do that you just hit the return button right there, and then you can set the day. First thing pops up is the new date, which is it goes by year, month, and day. It already came on the proper day when I got it, so it already had today's date. So that's going to go through, and once you enter that, you can move between like year to date by using the arrow buttons here. To change the date or time, you use the up and down arrow. Once you have the date set, you hit the enter button, and then the time comes. Then you just change to whatever time it is currently, and then just when it's done, you just hit enter. And that's all set with the time and dates. That way, I really don't think that's too important. The only thing that's really going to be important is probably going to be more the time. That way, when you set the program up to when you actually want the fertilizer, whatever you're dosing, to run, that way you're doing it on the time that you want it. So if you have the wrong day and you say, okay, I want it to pump fertilizers in at 3 a.m. and the time's like 2 hours off, it's not going to be pumping at 3 a.m. but 5 or 1 depending on which direction it's off. So you want to make sure that at least the time is set properly, which mine is. And basically when you want to go into calibration, all you have to do is you're going to hit the down arrow, select which pump by using the arrows right here. The arrows move to which pump. Since this only has 2 pumps, right now I'm going to do pump number 2. So first thing you need to do is you're going to have to basically prime the line. To do that, make sure it's on the pump, and you just hit the enter button. Yep, that calibrates it. You can skip out of that. So hit the down arrow, choose the pump, and then you are going to, I forgot how to do this already. Okay, I think all you have to do is press and hold the enter button. Actually, yeah, that I'm going to have to read the instructions one more time. Sorry. See, this is why I did pump number 1 first, just to make sure I knew what I was doing. But apparently I kind of failed on that. So let's see here. Okay. So to prime it, what you need to do is you press the left or right arrows. So this is the first step you want to do. Is you want to prime the pump. So you press the left or right arrow. I'm going to press the right and then move it to number 2. And then you just press and hold the return key right there. And that's going to prime the line, which that's what it's doing right now. It's filling the hose up with water, and it is basically going to fill. I have it right now going from a water thing down here up to a measuring cup up here, because basically when you need to calibrate it, you need to see when it gets to 100 milliliters, and that's how you calibrate it. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump this water back in here. So as you can see, I have a line running into a measuring cup right here, and when I see it get to that point right here, which is 100 milliliters, I press a button and then it calibrates and tells you, okay, this is how long it takes to get to 100 milliliters. So there's that. So basically right now that's nice and set, it's nice and primed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to escape out of that, hit escape, and then I'm going to get to the priming of the unit, which then you hit the down arrow button, choose the pump, and then you are going to hit enter. And right now right here it says P2, which is pump 2 correct fluid. Right now it says 100 milliliters equals 203. That's basically how many revolutions it takes to get to 100 milliliters. I'm going to escape from this right now. Basically go back to pump number 1. Select down arrow, pump number 1. Basically I already calibrated that one right here, and it figured, okay, it's going to take 229 revolutions to get to 100 milliliters. That's what it's calibrated at. When I first got it, it was 195. So if I did not calibrate it, the machine is going to think it only needs 195, so I'm going to get less fertilizer in than what I want. So that's going to be inaccurate. Now if it's higher, if it says 229 and it's supposed to say 195, then I'll have more fertilizer. As you see, very, very important to actually calibrate this unit first. So I'm going to go ahead and do number 2. So I'm going to go over to pump number 2 right here. I am going to then hit to calibrate it. Then you just hit the up button. Up. Okay, up. Apparently it doesn't want to cooperate. Oh, actually, no, first you hit enter. Then it says correct fluid. Then you hit that button, and that's going to actually turn on the pump, and it's going to start pumping water or fertilizer or whatever to where you need it to go. So right now what it's doing, it is basically filling the container right here. It is running. I'm going to go ahead and swing this around here, and as you can see, it is filling this up with water. So basically it's going to, once it hits 100 milliliters, I am going to go ahead and press the up button again. So let me go ahead and move this back down here to the pump, and as you can see, this green light means that the pump's on. I just need to make sure that it doesn't go beyond 100, because that would make my calibration incorrect. Right now it's at about almost 50 milliliters, and 100 milliliters right now it's saying 126, 127, let's see, 135. So as you can see, it's going up, and pump number 2 might actually take more revolutions to get where it needs to be than pump number 1, which that's what looks like the case, because I'm approaching 170 right now, and it's just a little bit over 50. So let's see where this goes. It might still be pretty close. I might run this pump number 2 as my macros, because macros is a little bit smoother than my micros. My micros with the iron and stuff is a little bit more thick, as you might say. So I'm going to use this one on the thinner one, so it doesn't create any issues. Right now it's at, looks like I set it to 150. So basically 100 milliliters is 250, which I think that's incorrect. So basically I'm going to just pause it there and just recalibrate it and see where it goes. So that is how you calibrate this unit. After you calibrate it, then you can actually just put this into where you need it to be and set it up. So there's the calibration of it. I'll be right back to show you it once it's in my tank. So I got the Autodoser installed inside my cabinet. I hooked up the tubes to where they need to go. I have this pump running from the macros, which is then running up that way and then pushing out to the tank. And then this one, of course, is pumping from the micros, which of course pumps up to the tank. So basically at 1:30 in the morning every other night, one of the fertilizer gets dosed up into the tank. Basically, all you have to do is set up the timer on this to actually pump which pump you want to go. Unfortunately, this pump is not very sophisticated. It is very not that smart. So basically, if you just set it up how it is, if you have it going every other day, both pumps will be going together at the same time. There is a way to actually fudge with it, to actually do it every other day, alternating, and that involves changing the date and setting it up. And I will link the video in the description on how to do that. It's not my personal video, but it's just the video that I did find on YouTube. I will link that up above as well as in the description. So basically check that out if you want alternating days. Basically, to actually set this up, all you have to do for the time is to, you're going to hit the return button right there. There we go. You hit the return button, then right now, then you're going to see the time. And then what you're going to do is you're going to hit the return button again, which gets you to the two options, which is going to be either set date or time or set program. And what you want to do if you're setting up a program is then, of course, hit the down arrow to get to set program, and then enter on that. And then you're going to have listed on the pumps 1, 2, and of course up to 8. So basically, then you just choose the pump you want to change. And like say if you want to change pump number, I'm going to go to pump number 3. So then you're just going to hit like the pump number 2 or whatever, and then it's going to tell you, then it's going to ask you how many times a day do you want to actually dose. 0 meaning none, and up to I think 24 different dosings. I would have to double check on the manual on that, but I believe you go up to 24. And then once you choose that, if you're doing every other day, if you want once a day, every day, then you're going to put 0. That means you want a dose Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and so forth. If you want every other day, and then you're going to have it set to number 1, which means if you want to, then it'd be like Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, then Monday, Wednesday. Unfortunately, the one downside on this, like it's not being sophisticated, is you can't really set it up to skip a dose. I'm not sure of any way around that yet that I could figure out. Basically, it is what it is. I'll just be wasting one dose for my water change day. That's if I change every week. Sometimes I do go every other week. Sometimes, just because my tanks can stand it, I do like changing it as much as I can, but I can go every other week, but typically I try once a week. So there's that. So that's basically how you're going to set it up. I will link the video on how to change it to every other day. That'll also show you how to actually set up the schedule as well. My camera setup here right now is you can't really see the screen on that as well. So it's basically just listening to my words. There's other better videos out there that you actually see what the screen says, and that'll be more helpful than me just saying, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that. And definitely, like you've seen earlier in the video, make sure you do read the user's manual. That way you know what you're doing. And keep it close so when you have to actually change it, you can. But as you see, I did a few failures on that and kind of got jumbled up. Not the easiest thing in the world to fix, but as long as that user's manual is right there, and after you do it enough times, it's going to be easy. And of course, this is just replacing my do-it-yourself system, because basically it was not working the way it should be on this taller stand. The liquids weren't quite getting to where it needed to be. Now, of course, I could have got a stronger air pump. That would have been perfectly fine. That would have done the job. But I decided not. Instead of going out and buying more air pumps, I'm just going to do it the traditional, just regular, let's go buy the unit kind of way. Now, you could actually do a do-it-yourself option, because you can buy these Peristalic pumps online for cheap. And then it's just a matter of just connecting them to wires and to a plug, and then setting them to a timer. that's another way to do this if you want to do your do-yourself option. Although I find it just a little bit better just to at least try out buying a unit. Hopefully this unit does work out well for me. I really can't recommend this yet because I haven't really used it, but in time I will be able to tell you, okay, is this a good option or not. So stay tuned for any updates, and as usual, have a good day, night, or whenever you're watching this. Thank you.